Hi everybody. I want to talk a little bit today about our partner programs, and not just in a local sense either. I want to talk about our entire worldwide team and the partnerships that they have built as well, and how we can utilize those to make our businesses stronger. Now, partners can be one of the most important aspects of any business, right alongside the quality of the product. So what makes a great business alliance partner? Well, there are several characteristics that are important. Number one, they've got to be involved in manufacturing. Customer satisfaction really needs to be very high on their priority list. It really helps if they already know that SolidCAM is awesome, because then they're going to want to talk about it. And they've got to be willing to introduce us to their customers and their friends. That's what this is all about. There's really several things that we don't want them to do. Okay? Nobody is better at presenting, training, and supporting SolidCAM than you guys. Our team worldwide is fantastic. We want to do those things that make us successful, and we want our customers to introduce us so that we can do what we do best. To make sure that we mesh well with our partners, we want to set our eyes on high-quality partners. It's not how many business alliance partners that we work with that counts. It's the quality of those partners that has the biggest value. You know, we've talked about several different characteristics that are important, but maybe the most important is that they are a trusted advisor for their customers. And you know what? Hey, we also need to be that trusted advisor for our customer. Our customers need to know that if we recommend someone to them, that they can trust that we're not taking them down a bad trail and leading them into, inferior quality products. Many times we tend to think more about the benefits that we can get from having lots of business alliance partners, but we need to go further than that. We also need to focus on what we can bring to our customers by introducing them to our partners. Now, partner events provide a venue where we and our partners can get to know our mutual customers. And of course, our customers can get to know us and our partners. And let's face it, not every partner is going to have something for every customer. We can demonstrate powerful features, though, of our partner products, and how combining those with SolidCAM can change the game to make our customers more successful. So having several partners in an event can significantly improve the odds that every customer in attendance is going to find something, for use for their business. We have great relationships with many business alliance partners worldwide. These are just a few from SolidCAM US, SolidCAM GmbH, the Czech Republic, SolidCAM UK, and from China. Now, we could talk for hours about the many ways that these partnerships have helped our customers and SolidCAM, but I want to focus on just a few special relationships that have really had some powerful impact, and talk about how we've built those relationships and how we've fostered those relationships. Our relationship with Regofix started here in the U.S. about 10 years ago. They've always been a very good business alliance partner, and they continue to be one today. Their Power Grip tool holding system continues to be my top recommendation by a significant margin. It really is one of the best tool holding systems I've ever seen in my entire career. Now, we do a lot of cross-promotional marketing with them, and we share booth costs at several industry trade shows. They've also introduced us to other valuable business alliance partners. This is one of the real benefits. One example is the work that we're doing with Regofix and NTK cutting tools. NTK is a division of NGK spark plugs. You may have heard of them. But the NTK cutting tools division, one of the tools they make is a ceramic end mill. It's a special recipe of silicon nitride. This doesn't even feel like a real tool. It feels like a piece of plastic when you pick it up. But what it can do in ultra-high temp alloys when combined with eye machining and Regofix holders is nothing short of amazing. This material in this video is Rene 65. It is used in jet engine hot section parts, and it sees some of the most extreme heat and pressure known to man during flight operations. A typical carbide tool, even when used with eye machining, is very limited in performance and has an extremely short tool life in this material. Now, NTK, with this ceramic tool, was able to improve performance and tool life over carbide, and by about a factor of 2 with traditional tool paths, and even 3 to 4x with all of eye machining's competitors. They still had to do an awful lot of editing in the NC code to get it to work. Now, Regofix introduced us to NTK at the South Tech 2019 show, and we did this test cut just a few months later. What you're seeing here is a 30x improvement in material removal rate and a 4x improvement in the time in the cut at this performance. The tool life improvement as measured in volume removed is staggering. This is just one of the examples of how our customers can gain from working with SolidCAM and our network of business alliance partners. You know, sometimes convincing partners to believe in SolidCAM can be challenging, especially with the way things are in the market today. But hey, have some fun with it. Get creative. SolidCAM will not let you down. In talking with Yvonne at SolidCAM CZ, he related an interesting story to me, and I wanted to share that with you today. Back in 2015, Yvonne had some business alliance partnerships with some important cutting tool manufacturers like Iskar, Goering, WNT, and others. Unfortunately, these partners suffered from what we like to call the eye machining disbelief syndrome. This is a common affliction, but it can be a lot of fun to cure. Being focused on and actually quite proud of their cutting tools, they were not willing to believe that eye machining was any different than any other CAM system offering. They figured that our testimonials were just exaggerations, marketing lies like so many of the others in the industry. So Yvonne came up with a brilliant plan. He really wanted his business alliance partners to be excited about SolidCAM. So he thought, get them to compete. Challenge their confidence. And so he offered them an opportunity to test their tools and their expertise against eye machining. Do your best, he said. Use the best approach you know and run your tools to the max feeds and speeds, the best you can get out of them. Then let me run them in eye machining and we'll compare the results. And to make it even more tempting, he chose a very simple part. Now this of course gave them kind of a heightened sense of confidence. I mean, hey, how can we not succeed with such a simple part? Well, it worked. They jumped at the challenge and the game was on. So Yvonne chose a good machine, a DMG Mori. He got a DMU 65 monoblock. And hey, no one can complain that the machine was insufficient, right? It's definitely up to the task. So Yvonne made the rules of engagement very, very simple. Use any solid carbide tool with traditional toolpath techniques and optimize them. He was going to use their 8mm diameter tools, using them with eye machining. Now, they did the machining at the University of West Bohemia in Pilsen, with the professor of the university overseeing the contest, so this made it fair. And they used several materials ranging in hardness and toughness. They even gave the Iskar team an advanced day to practice and perfect their approach. And Yvonne and his team showed up the next day and used default settings in eye machining. The results were amazing. SolidCAM won hands down in all categories. Yvonne has all the results and the information if you're interested in seeing the details, but here's just a few bits of information. An interesting and surprisingly common discovery was made in this challenge, and that was that eye machining is outperforming the other guys with about half the diameter of the tool that they're using. Now keep in mind tooling costs. Larger diameter tools cost significantly more, so this is a fantastic side benefit that can be gained also. Now, as you can imagine, with eye machining outperforming the traditional strategies by 30, even up to 300%, it's easy to see how the cutting tool manufacturers were converted to believers in SolidCAM. Now they are actually some of Yvonne's greatest promoters of SolidCAM and iMachining. So work with your business alliance partners, because working with business alliance partners and customers for that matter, and helping them to understand SolidCAM's value can be some of the most fun and rewarding work that you'll ever do. So enjoy it. Build those relationships. Grow those relationships. Everybody's going to reap the rewards. Building a great partnership takes a significant amount of time and effort. That process is not wasted though, for there will be times when that partner will bring you in on a project that demonstrates the value of your efforts. Gordon from SolidCAM UK related a story to me just the other day that is just such a situation. Their long-term relationship with ISCAR paid off in a big way for both them and for a new customer in this case. As Gordon tells the story, the real partnership driver in this case was ISCAR. Now he says that ISCAR is their longest partnership and one of their most influential. An opportunity came about in which a world-class hydropower turbine manufacturer, a company called Gilbert, Gilks & Gordon, generally referred to as Gilks or GG&G, Gilks had decided to bring turbine runner machining in-house, and they were looking for solutions. Historically, Gilks had outsourced the manufacturing of these turbine runners because they're very complex parts, and machining it complete from billet is a huge undertaking, to say the least. Their hope was that bringing it in-house would reduce costs, improve quality, and shorten their lead times. Gilks made a decision to go with Mazak. They purchased an Intergrex E1250V 8S. This is an advanced 5-axis mill turn machine that will work great to do these runners. Although SolidCAM UK has been trying for years, they had not established an official partner relationship with Mazak. Now, on a previous project, Mazak had chosen to work with ISCAR as their tooling partner, and due to the history of excellence that ISCAR has experienced with Gordon and his team, ISCAR insisted that SolidCAM be brought in as the CAM partner for that project. Now, although Mazak was accustomed to working with Hypermill and EdgeCAM, they took the advice, and on the recommendation of ISCAR, they brought SolidCAM UK and Gordon's team along with them, and you know what? That project worked out well. So this time, with Gilks being a big opportunity, with great potential for Mazak, they chose to go with SolidCAM again, with the hope that SolidCAM's advanced mill turn and 5-axis modules would offer some real programming power. You know, SolidCAM UK did with this Gilks project what they had done so many times before when working with ISCAR. They provided superior product, service, and support, resulting in a very, very happy customer. The senior project engineer at Gilks had these comments regarding this project. The project, and I quote, "The project was to machine complete a Pelton turbine runner from a solid billet of stainless steel on a 5-axis mill turn. Pelton runners are complex parts, so support was needed with the programming." You know, he goes on to say that, quote, "SolidCAM provided training to our requirements, giving programming assistance when required both on-site and remotely. They also provided a post-processor with all custom requirements built in, and every function of the machine set up and tested to provide Gilks with a reliable manufacturing process to help proof Gilks' investment." As you can see in this example, the customer partnering with SolidCAM UK, Mazak, ISCAR, Brown & Holmes, Nikken, CG Tech, which is Vericut, has meant that the Gilks project, although complex and challenging, became a reality, including significant improvements in productivity that allowed Gilks to maintain their highly competitive position in this global market. Now Gordon will continue to develop the relationship with Mazak. And this project will be yet another example of how Mazak can trust SolidCAM to deliver when it counts. Being very proactive in establishing business alliance partnerships and continuously tending to those partnerships has ripple effects. It can change the future of your business, your customers' success, and the growth of your alliances. SolidCAM USA is beginning a partnership with Star CNC Machines. And this is one of those stories that shows that persistence can pay off. And sometimes the thing that generates the interest is not always what you are anticipating that it will be. Now, we still have more work to do on this partnership, but this is kind of a fun story. Well, I need to set the stage first. At the 2019 West Tech Show in Long Beach, California, I went to the Star booth to talk to them about partner opportunities. As is the case with many of the Swiss-type machine manufacturers, they've been pestered for years for partnerships by CAM companies that just could not run a Swiss machine at all. The frustration that was brought about by that was evident with the first individual that I spoke with. That was their booth manager. He basically told me that there was no chance for us to become a business partner, that they just were not interested. Well, after a few minutes of resistance, I was finally able to get him to at least identify and allow me to talk to the person that had the authority to make a decision like that. Their national sales manager was working the booth, and after he finished up with the customer that he was talking to, he politely introduced himself to me and shook my hand. And I proceeded to tell him the purpose of my visit, and again, he immediately objected, saying that they already had all the CAM partners that they would ever be interested in. But before he could dismiss me, I told him that I really did understand. I said, I'm sure you guys get requests all the time from CAM systems that really have no business attempting to run your complex machines. I assured him that we were different, that we had spent the last several years upgrading our system specifically to handle complex machines like Swiss turn machines. Well, after several minutes of persuasion, he finally relented and said that I could talk with Ken Jensen, their West Coast Senior Application Engineer. It was still painfully evident that he did not believe me, but he said if Ken Jensen thinks it's worth looking at, then they would be willing to take it under consideration. Well, Ken was off on a break at the time, so he suggested that I come back in about 30 minutes. So I went over to the Citizen booth, which was just down the aisle, see if I could start something up with them. Well, this was a complete non-starter. They were even more against any new partners than Star was. In fact, my request at Citizen was met with rude dismissal. Not wanting to miss the opportunity at Star, I decided it'd probably be a good idea to pursue Citizen at a later date. So I decided to grab a cup of coffee and wait a few minutes at the Star booth, hoping to catch Mr. Jensen as soon as he came back and, maybe get to him before he got involved in anything else. That was the right decision, because he came back shortly after I got back to their booth. As the conversation began with Ken Jensen, the same objections came right up out of the gate. I assured them that as a 20-year senior application engineer myself, I really had no interest in wasting his time or mine. And I asked if I could just have 10 minutes of his time to start showing him the unique approach that we built, and if he didn't see anything interesting in that 10 minutes, he was welcome to be rude and walk away. Fortunately, Mr. Jensen laughed at that comment, and he said that he was willing to take a look. But it would have to be a quick look, as he was quite busy and needed to be in his booth, not ours. So we walked together back over to our booth, and it just so happened that our team was waiting on me to run another iMachining demo on the little LaVille machine that you've seen earlier. Well, I apologized to Ken Jensen and asked if he could give me just a couple of minutes to run this demo before we went over the Swiss module. And he was gracious and said it was okay. I told him, hey, you might be interested in this anyway, since it's extreme high performance on a light-duty machine. So I ran the iMachining demo with my usual narration, talking about the science of cutting angle. And when I was finished, I looked over at Ken and his face told it all. His eyes were wide with disbelief and amazement. The first words he spoke were actually questions. What did I just see? How are you able to do that with such small tools on a desktop CNC? And then he said, can you do the same thing on Swiss machines? Well, I smiled at him and I said, you bet we can, and wait till you see what else we can do on Swiss. Well, Mr. Jensen looked me straight in the eyes and said, well, okay then, you've got my attention now. So I walked him over to the demo station and I asked Greg Payton to show him what we can do with Swiss. Well, Greg did a masterful demo, walking him through the VMID, the MCOs, machine view, tool mountings, channel synchronization, and our machine simulation. Well, 30 minutes later, Ken Jensen told us he was really surprised. He quite frankly expected to see the same old tired attempts that he had seen before from others over the last years. But he said he actually liked everything he saw. He especially liked the VMID alignments, the channel synchronization, and the machine view. He said the machine view was very powerful to be able to see in a visual way how things align during the programming of the machine control operations and the tool mountings is something that they had wanted for many years. Then he asked if he could get a seat of SolidCAM to start learning it, and maybe even use it to demonstrate his machines. Well, that's exactly what we were hoping for. Now, since then, we've signed agreements with Star in California, and Ken has been working under the excellent guidance of Greg and using the software a lot. Now, unfortunately, COVID slowed it down for us like it did with everything. But we are now set to work with them at Westech later this year in September. And Ken's also trying to get me in touch with their Ohio team, and I'm trying to get to work with them at the PMTS show in August of this year. That's out in Cleveland. I think the main takeaway from this story is that you should never, ever give up. Always be persistent, polite, and professional, but persistent. And whatever you do, don't forget iMachining is a serious, eye-opening technology. Sometimes, actually quite often, it makes all the difference in the world once they experience it in a live cut. Well, we've now seen just a few examples of how our teams worldwide are working with their partners and creating great rewards for customers, as well as for the partners, and of course for SolidCAM. When we work together, we create great opportunities to meet the needs of our customers in ways that they may not even be thinking about. There are so many technologies out there that are pretty cool in and of themselves, but when we, SolidCAM, bring them together in an interdependent way, each capitalizing on the strengths of the others, we can achieve stunning results for our customers. I believe in a philosophy that I think really works. When we create a winning situation for our customers first, not being concerned about our own successes at that moment, the customer usually succeeds at such a high level that they can't wait to come back and do more business with us. Their productivity goes up beyond their expectations, and then they can take on more work. Now, this means that they can buy more machines, they can hire more people to program those machines, and they can grow their business and stay up with the new demand. So they're going to need to come back and get more seats of SolidCAM, and that's when we get to win along with them. So let's think about what we can take away from this presentation that will help us with our businesses. Well, first, partnerships are seriously important. Please make sure that you're looking for them. Going further, partnerships can take a lot of effort, time, and persistence, but hey, give them your best, and you will see the return on your investment. Now, SolidCAM has the power, content, and quality to inspire and to sustain great partnerships, so be confident in it. Fourth, partnerships can be the key to bringing great success to our customers. But you know what? Our customers will bring great success to us. SolidCAM's staff and resellers worldwide have built fantastic partnerships. So talk to each other. Ask for help. And do not be shy. Hey, thank you for being here today. I really hope that you found this helpful and interesting, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the summit.